we've just kind of really lost like the little things that makes life special. Joy shouldn't be reserved just for a specific time or a specific day, right? We should be allowed to feel joy and to enjoy life regardless of the day of the week.
The sun shines on all of my glory. My flaws don't look so bad at all. What was I so afraid of?
Hey everybody, it's Sharmel. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. So today I am back with a little chit chat video. I feel like I haven't sat in like this little setup and talked to you guys in a while, but yeah, we're long overdue. So today's topic, I really wanted to talk about this just because I felt like everyone has been going through it lately. Whether I'm talking to friends, family, scrolling on the internet, I feel like everyone is going through some type of life transition or just trying to adjust. I feel like everybody has been going through it, and if you watch my recent life update, I kind of told you guys some of the things that I have been personally dealing with, and I'm kind of in this space where I'm just really trying to make the most of my life with every opportunity that I get. So in today's video, y'all, I want to talk about romanticizing your life while working like a full-time job or like a 9 to 5, because I know for many of us these jobs be our stressors. So let's get right into it. So if you have been following my channel and my journey for the last few years, y'all, I done had a bunch of twists, turns, ups, downs, rights, lefts. I've been doing a lot, okay? I feel like I've been going from one extreme to the other. So just a quick little background, y'all. I've always worked, right? Going back to a teenager, I've always worked or had like internships. And then when I graduated college, I kind of went into the job force head first, working full-time, 9 to 5. Y'all know the routine. But back in 2022, I was let go from my job at the time. And at the time, my YouTube channel, my content, my social media stuff was just doing really well. I was in a good place financially, and I just felt like, let's see what I can do, right? Let's see where we can take this. So for about a year and a half, I took a break from like traditional 9 to 5 work, and I was pursuing my content creation. That was my full-time job. I was just living, honestly, enjoying my life, and I enjoyed it. But like with most things, there are always pros and cons. And so last year, I actually decided to go back to work just as the economy was changing and things like that. I just felt like I needed something with a little more stability. So I went back to work last year, April of 2024, and it has been, y'all, a full year since I've been back in the workforce. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, the transition, you know, it wasn't as easy as I thought it was gonna be, right? Again, having the background of always working, I felt like I was just gonna fall back into place and into routine. But y'all, the transition was actually a lot harder than I had thought it was gonna be. Entrepreneurship and content creation, everything has their pros and cons. But I think the thing that I miss the most is just having agency over my life. And as I've been transitioning back into work, one of my fears was falling back into that like monotony of, you know, you go to work, come home, go to sleep, get back up the next morning and go to work again. Because 10 years ago when I went through a rough patch, I used to say that I felt like I was living the same day over and over and over again. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I have found myself kind of falling back into that. And so yeah, I've been really working on breaking away from that habit, because y'all, we only get one life, right? And unfortunately for many of us, we got to get up and go to work every day. But I don't want my life to revolve around work. So I want to tell you guys like 5 things that I've been working on implementing into my day-to-day routine that has made my days more fulfilling. And these are realistic things, right? I'm titling this video romanticizing, and sometimes when you watch videos talk about like romanticizing things, some of the stuff that people be giving be seeming a little far-fetched, right? It don't be seeming as practical as I would like it. But the things that I'm going to talk about, y'all, they're super practical, things that you can implement immediately. So let's get into it. All right, y'all, so my first tip is slow mornings. And this is something that is kind of easy for me because I'm naturally a morning person. And a slow morning is basically a mindful and relaxed approach to start your day. Oftentimes, many of us, we are just waking up, getting ready, and running out the door. And I'm a firm believer of like, when you start your mornings like that, it's going to continue throughout the day. Whenever I'm just kind of rushing out the house in the morning, I feel like for the rest of the day, I am playing catch up. So I love implementing slow mornings mornings into my routine, especially during the work week. And I'm not saying you need to wake up like hours and hours ahead of what you usually do, but just start with maybe even waking up 30 minutes earlier than what you usually do. I'm the type of person, when my alarm goes off, I want to be able to either snooze it or turn it off and at least just kind of lay in the bed for a little bit and allow my body to just kind of naturally wake up. I personally have enough time in the mornings to where if I want to work out, I can work out. If I want to cook me a real breakfast before work, not like a full spread, but you know, if I want to cook something in the morning before work, I can do that. One of my favorite things to do in the morning is to have my coffee and be able to sit on my couch and just enjoy my coffee for a good 15 to 20 minutes, right? Just give me 15 to 20 minutes to sit on this couch and enjoy my coffee. I pass a million coffee shops on my way to work. I got unlimited good coffee at my job, but it's nothing like having that cup of coffee and just being able to just kind of sit in my thoughts, right? Just give your body time to just wake up. So like whatever it is that you need to kind of just set the tone for the day, whether it's working out, whether it's enjoying your cup of coffee, whether it's like stretching, whether you need to journal, praying. I always make sure I wake up in time so that I can pray before I get out this bed and start doing a bunch of stuff, right? Whatever it is that you feel is going to set the tone for your day, allocate time in the morning to do that, because once you're out the door, once you get up and running, the responsibilities are gonna be there. I ain't in a rush to get to the responsibilities because they're gonna be there regardless. So whatever little time you can allocate for yourself in the morning just to like mentally prepare yourself for the day, I highly recommend. And again, it's not necessarily about how early you wake up. It's really just about taking some time and carving out some time for you, specifically just for you, before you even begin your day. So my second tip is to stop living for the weekends, right? The reality is that most of us work 4 to 5 days a week, so that gives us 2 to 3 days to ourselves. And that's still generous because, you know, we all still have different responsibilities, whether you're a parent, whether you're married, just family, whatever it is. Even though we get the weekends, I'm sure many of us still have certain responsibilities and obligations on the weekends too. I know me personally, I grew up in like a household where, you know, on a school night, we're not doing this, right? I grew up, this is a school night. If you want to do something fun, basically you need to wait till the weekend to do it. And so that's something that I kind of took into adulthood. And again, when you're working every day, you start to fall into that monotony. And then when you get to the weekend, you're trying to cram everything in. And sometimes the weekends don't even feel as fun because, like I said, you just try to do so much that you really don't even enjoy the weekends like you want to. And then before you know it, it's Monday again and the weekend starts over, right? Joy shouldn't be reserved just for us specific time or a specific day, right? We should be allowed to feel joy and to enjoy life regardless of the day of the week. TT a little old now, so I'm not going out to like no club or nothing. I barely go to the club, but yeah, I'm not going out like that necessarily in the middle of the week. But you know, I'm not opposed to going to a happy hour after work, or every now and then I'll go to a concert in the middle of the week, because I mean, if the concert falls on that day and I want to go, that's the day I'm gonna go. I know sometimes me and my man, we like to sneak in date nights in the middle of the week, and even then, like, date nights can be simple, like, oh, it's this pho restaurant I want to try, let's go there for dinner tonight, right? Or again, hitting up a happy hour, like, ooh, this place got $5 lamb chops, let's go see what they talking about. Get a little food and a little drinky drink or whatever on a Thursday night. Like little things like that. Even if you don't want to go outside during the week, try a new recipe. Just do something, y'all, during the week. I've talked about having hobbies on my channel before, and y'all, this is why hobbies are so important, because we need little things throughout the week to just kind of take us away from just like the stress and again the monotony of life. I also recently joined like a little workout class, and although I be struggling to go some days, I also really appreciate it because it gets me out the house during the middle of the week. Find ways to experience joy throughout the week and not just on the weekend. Yeah, some days you might be a little tired the next day, but y'all, again, joy is not reserved just for the weekend. Number 3, y'all, use that PTO. and not just for vacations, right? Because you hear people say, use the PTO, use the PTO. And people will use their PTO, but then they'll just use it for like, I'm going on a trip. And I mean, if you got a trip coming up, make sure you save enough PTO so you can go enjoy your trip. But stop saving your PTO for one. It was in your contract and it's yours. So use your PTO. But y'all, I'm good for just taking a day. I need a day. I got the hours in my bank. Use these little PTO hours and I'm gonna take the day off. I feel like a couple weeks ago, I took off 2 days. I knew I had a busy weekend, so I said, you know what? I'm gonna take off Thursday and Friday to make up for this busy weekend I'm gonna have, so I can at least find me some days in the middle of the week to just enjoy me, right? To do what I wanna do. But yeah, y'all, stop saving the PTO. Use the PTO. Okay, I can't stand people who hoard their PTO and be having hours and hours and hours and they don't never use it. What are you saving it for? Use your PTO. I feel like, you know, especially with social media, we have gotten so caught up in just trying to, what's the word I want to use? I feel like we've just kind of really lost like the little things that makes life special. I feel like in order to be productive, you need restorative time. And so yeah, PTOs are great for vacations. Take your vacation too. Book you something. But also just make sure to just take time. Use your hours, y'all. That's all I can say. Use your PTO. Stop saving it. And I'm sure that's something y'all heard before, but like I can't reiterate it enough because I'll talk to people and they'll be like, well, no, I have to work. And I'm like, well, you got PTO? Well, no, I gotta save it. And I'm like, well, what you saving it for? Well, I don't know. Something might come up. What's gonna come up? If it ain't came up yet, then take your hours. One thing that I really had to work on is to stop living for things that may or may not happen, right? It doesn't mean that you live irresponsibly, but so many of us are tailoring our lives based on hypotheticals. It's good to have options, it's good to have a plan, but when you're living in hypotheticals, you're basically like denying yourself for something that you may not even experience, something that may not even happen. And so it's really, at least for me, I'm trying to get back into the space where, what's happening today? Let's focus on what's happening today. What do I need on today? Because I can accrue some more time, but today I might need a rest day. So if my body is needing this today and I have what I need, I have the resources to give my body what it needs or to do what I need to do, then it's just like, do it. Moral of the story, use your PTO. My fourth tip is to be intentional with your time. While there are certainly a lot of things in our lives that are out of our own personal control, we also have more control of our lives than we give ourselves credit for. When I get into a complaining spell, this is me. And one of the first things I always fall back on is I don't have enough time, right? There's not enough hours in the day. I spend so much time at work. I'm tired after work. I'm tired, I don't have time. Those are like the two things that I constantly hear is I'm tired and I don't have time. And while we may not have all the hours in the day, the reality is that we have time, but we are not using our time wisely. And that's just what it is. I'm guilty of coming home after work, laying on my couch, getting on my phone, and before you know it, I've been in a scroll binge and 2 hours done passed. And it's like, what could I have done with those 2 hours? The things that I'm complaining about that I don't have time about, I'm sure at the time I spent scrolling on my phone, I could have spent working on it. I may not have been able to complete it. I may have not have been able to do everything I wanted to, but I surely could have had enough time to work on it, right? I had enough time to at least start. And many of us, we don't even want to do that. It's easier for a lot of us to just complain about not having the time instead of using the time that we have to do something. So it's time to do some inventory of the time that you do have and find ways that you can be more intentional with your time. And I'm not saying that you can't scroll on your phone and do all of that. Like I believe there's a place for it, but even with those things, start scheduling a time for you to do that so that you don't get lost in it. There's apps that you can put on your phone that will lock you out of the certain apps or social media by a certain time. Like, again, we have more control than we like to think. We just don't actually want to do it because it's easier, like I said, to complain about it. But y'all, be intentional with your time. If you have to start keeping like a strict schedule, timers on your phone, do what you need to do to do what you want to do. And then my last tip is to put more effort in your appearance. And what I mean by that is just to take ownership of how you show up every day in this world. And I don't mean this from like a standpoint of vanity, because I definitely believe that there's more to life than just looking cute and looking pretty, right? Although I am a firm believer of when you look good, you feel good, I'm going beyond just kind of like the surface level of it. But I know personally, a lot of times when you're just dealing with life and you're caught into just life going and moving, it's so easy to develop this mindset of, you know, I'm just going to work. It ain't nothing special. And before you know it, on the weekends, I'm just running errands. I'm just going to the grocery store real quick. I don't care who sees me. I'm gonna be in and out. And again, that's just kind of how you start to show up every day. Not even in your appearance, right? In your mindset. When you put in low effort into the small things, you start to put low effort into the bigger things. Stop saving clothes for special events. Again, those hypotheticals. I'm gonna save this for something more special, for a bigger event. And then before you know it, you in leggings and t-shirts every day, right? You in the same pair of jeans and sweatshirt every day because you're saving all your clothes for these hypotheticals, for this event that may or may not happen. You never know. Again, living in those hypotheticals. When you don't care, then it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, I feel like ain't nothing gonna happen, so nothing happens. So I may not have had anything planned, but once I get up and I put on something cute, I put myself together, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I do want to go do something. And those are the things that make your lives more enjoyable. Now, I may not wear my Sunday's best to work, but I have been just like building my wardrobe so that I have cute work clothes. If I'm spending 5 days of the week at this job, I don't want to look just like anything 5 days of the week. When you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, I feel like you're more often to be more optimistic about the things that are going on in your life. It's not going to fix those things, but again, it's more so about, again, going back to slow mornings, creating the space, being intentional with your time, just being intentional overall. Intentionality. And I know that's something we hear often, especially on social media. Intentionality, be intentional, consistency, intentionality. But I promise y'all, those things make such a difference in your day-to-day life. But yeah, y'all, when it comes to romanticizing your life, it doesn't have to be expensive or like aesthetically pleasing. When I think of romanticizing my life, it's more so just about being present. I think a lot of us are not present in our own lives, whether we're caught up scrolling, whether we're caught up just in our own thoughts, always imagining a better life than what we have now. Your life is gonna only be as good as you make it today. One thing I said in my life update is that I'm in a place where I'm taking life day by day. And you know, life circumstances have kind of put me in this place where I have to take it day by day. But I also feel like God knew what I needed before I knew what I needed. And he knew that I was getting so caught up and just focusing on everything else, just focusing on stuff that I didn't need to focus on. And so one of my things is like, when I wake up, how do I make this day the best day that it could be? Simply that. I don't know what today is gonna hold, but what can I do today that just makes this day special? I believe that we all deserve a life that feels good, and not just on the big special days, on the eventful days, right? We deserve to feel good in the in-between moments, the day-to-day things. And so just start doing what you can do to make every day feel special. And I feel like that sounds so cliche, but it's really the truth. When you start focusing on just taking it day by day and making today the best day, right? If I make today the best day and I wake up tomorrow and make tomorrow the best day, and I wake up the day after that and make it the best day, then I'm consistently living good days every single day. But yeah, y'all, I definitely encourage you to take some of these tips and start implementing them into your day-to-day routine. See how you like it. You don't have to do everything. You especially don't have to do everything at once. Just start with little small things that you feel like will improve your day. Tailor it how you need to tailor it, and just start to move forward from there. But yeah, y'all, that's all I got for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all of my social media platforms at Sharmel Lynnette, and I will see you beautiful people in my next video. Bye.